and so we can form the European Union. We can realize European unity. Let's do it. And there we go. The European Union in February 1941. Hi guys, and welcome back to the channel. In today's video, I'm going to guide you through all of the necessary steps to dominate World War II as France. With this strategy, we are going to be able to form the European Union and core most of Europe. If that sounds interesting, then this is the right video for you. This is actually not the first time I make a guide for France, but Paradox made some changes and improvements to the AI, making the old strategy a lot more difficult to follow. This time, however, I'm sharing with you my own improvements to the old strategy, and let me tell you right away, they will be massive. I'm very excited to share this with you guys. As always, if you have any doubts, feel free to ask in the comments and to join our Discord. And of course, if you have been following the channel and enjoying the content I make, please do not forget to support the channel by liking the video, subscribing and leaving a comment. Now that's all for the introduction, so let's get straight into our initial setup for France. Now, I actually made a poll about this guide, whether to make it a step-by-step guide, fully unedited, or a regular edited guide. You voted for the edited version, which means that the researches and focuses will not be covered in the video. They will be in the description down below. And do not worry anyway, you will get the unedited footage, so you will be able to see everything I'm doing step by step in any case. You can do that right away if you purchased any type of membership to the channel. Otherwise, you will be able to do it in about 1 week when I release the unedited version. Alright, let's start with buildings. We are going to build infrastructures and civilian factories in, well, and now with the names I'm in trouble. In Nord-Pas-de-Calais and in France-Comté. Definitely wrong, but it doesn't matter. So the important thing is infrastructures first and then civilian factories in these two provinces. Okay, so in terms of production, try to follow this exact production here. So 4 to support equipment, 1 to artillery, 1 to trucks, 1, but a future 1 to anti-air, a future 1 to civilian trains, and then 2 plus all future ones to infantry equipment. In terms of the navy, I always leave a lot of freedom. It doesn't really matter much. All I did here was maximizing the production for each one of them, so that when one is built, all 3 dockyards will go to the other ones until they're all done, and then we are going to add some convoys for when we are done with the production of regular ships. Now, the convoys are actually quite important, so these will have a play in the run. Okay, for what concerns the armies, first of all, I'm going to disband some of them that we are not going to use. This division coloniale, we're not going to use. We're not going to use this tank army here. We're actually not going to use the motorized and mechanized or armored ones anyway, but I'll keep them here just in case. What we are mostly going to use is the infantry division, which we're going to rename to Inf, so that if you're checking out my spreadsheets, it's easier to know what I'm talking about. And this one we are going to rename to Def. I'm also going to change the icon. I'm also going to change the name for the mountaineers to Mon. And the cavalry to Cav. Okay, then what I'm going to do is I'm going to select all of them and merge them into only one army. Then I'm going to pick one of the cavalry and I'm going to change it with only one of the cavalries, and I'm going to change it into def. At this point I will split off all of the def, it should be 24, all of the mountaineers, and it should be 4. And I'm going to simply change everything else from up here into into the infantry, regular infantry divisions. Then I'm going to split them into 2 armies, and if you did everything correctly, you should have 2 armies of regular infantry of 23, a full 24 defensive army, and the 4 mountaineers. Now I'm going to create actually 2 marshals, one with only mountaineers and one with the other 3 armies. The main one will be Maxime. For the second one I'm going to use Maurice, but it doesn't change that much. The 2 main generals will be Jean and Charles de Gaulle. For the first defensive army we are going to use Gaston. And for the mountaineers we are going to use René Horry. Now it doesn't matter much what you do with them, but I use a full back line usually to split them around a little bit so that they don't suffer from attrition. And then shift click here to train all of them all the way up to regular. And we do the same thing for the mountaineers. I'm also going to select and train all of our planes. I usually do it from here, not the carrier ones, but the other ones. We are going to send them to the Marseille area and shift click again on train to train them all to regular. And then we're also going to gather our fleet in Toulon, in southern France. But we are not going to train the fleet because we lack the oil to do so. So we just gather them in here and that's it. Of course, yeah, one thing that you can do is assigning an admiral. I'm also going to change the occupation law to local autonomy, because that will reduce the garrison needs. And we are going to change the default garrison template to the cavalry one. Actually, the light tanks one is also decent, but I prefer the cavalry one anyway. Next, we are going to release Algeria as a puppet. So you go here, release nation, release as puppet, and we're going to release them. We don't actually lose anything by releasing Algeria right now as a puppet, because they didn't have any factories that we could use. And the advantage of doing so is that we will re-annex them later on through the focus, the Bloom Violet proposal. Which will not only annex them again, but will also give us a course on these provinces. And the advantage of releasing them now is that they will build an industry over time. By the time we complete that focus, we will get a fair amount of factories from here that we wouldn't otherwise get. So releasing Algeria at the very beginning is quite convenient. I'm also going to create a spy agency at the very beginning. If you want, you can also upgrade it all the way to 5 upgrades, so you get 2 spies. But we're fine with only 1 spy. I want to save the civilian factories, so in this guide I will not upgrade it further. And with this, our initial setup is done. You can make a save if you want, so you don't need to do it again in case you mess something up later on. And we can start the game at speed 5. There isn't much we have to do so early in the game. As soon as you get your spy, let's see if we were lucky. We were not lucky. If you get a seducer, always pick the seducer. Otherwise, it doesn't matter much. Send your spy to build Intel network in Genova. When you get this first message, just issue a diplomatic objection. We don't want to be at war with Germany just yet. Now, on May 1st, we will have elections in France, and there is an RNG moment. You may get two different events. The most common one will give you two choices, whether to increase the support for communism in the country or to lose some stability and get some extra democracy or democratic support. The other message is much better and will give you the choice to pick early mobilization right away or to lose 5% stability. And of course, in that case, you want to pick early mobilization. Now, you may make a save right now, just before the election, and reload to see if you can get the other event. Maybe I will make a separated video on this. This is actually a very interesting topic. I may have to cut this out of the edited version, but let me briefly mention it because it's quite interesting. Now, if I make a save at this moment and we get the event, say we get the early mobilization event, if I reload the save, I will keep getting the same event over and over again. Even if I quit the game completely and reload the save, I still get the same event. But if I start a new run with France, I get to this same exact point and I get the other message, and then I reload this save, I will get the other event. So this must be studied. I don't know exactly how it works. I don't know what the game does. But apparently if you get a message, then it will influence your other save files as well. Very strange. I will investigate it more and maybe again make a dedicated video on this. But for now, let's see which one we get in this run. Alright, elections. We got communists in the government. I'm actually happy that we got this one, because this is the more common one and it's the less beneficial one. Of course, if you get the other one with early mobilization, go for early mobilization. For this one, I would actually recommend losing some of the stability to increase the popularity of democracy. Overall, it doesn't make a major difference, but actually the popularity of democracy will give us back some stability. So we don't actually lose 5, we only lose 4. And overall, I would prefer not to have too many communists in the government. I'm talking about HOI4 only, I mean. In any case, I would prefer not to have too many, because later on we may have problems if for some reason communist support goes over 50%. So let's get the democracy instead. And as you can see, we lost only 4% stability, not 5%. Okay, another topic that will be covered in a dedicated video is do we go for concentrated industry or dispersed industry? I will keep it short here. We go for dispersed industry. It's overall the safer choice, but that's not always the best choice. So we will talk about it in a dedicated video. Civil war in Spain. We cannot send volunteers yet, but we will take part. We will play actually a major part in this civil war later on. Just wait and see. Okay, as you get this focus done, you will get enough political power to pick the silent workhorse. We really need this guy because we are struggling for political power due to that disjointed government malice. So that will help massively. Okay, at 50 political power, we are going to pick the army defense specialist, so we can start building up some army experience. I would also recommend keeping an eye on your spy at this point, because when you get to around 90-95% intel, you will not be able to build anymore, and it's better to switch to quiet intel network. This is going to be our MIO priority for artillery. Okay, and see, those lines there mean that our spy cannot build any more spy network in here. So we can switch to quiet intel network. But let me tell you something here. If you check let me not do this yet. No? So if you check the intel network here, you can see the very good benefits that you get from the intel network. Combat benefits. As you can see, the max planning for Italy is minus 95%. The entrenchment is almost minus 5%. And we get plus to invasion defense, planning speed 47%. So very, very nice bonuses. However, when you switch to quiet intel network, you will lose all of these bonuses temporarily. You don't get anything. The network is inactive right now. So we must remember, before we start the war on Italy, to switch the spy back to build intel network. Right now we don't need to build it. And if we stay on quiet intel network, our spy will not be caught. So right now it's convenient to keep it like this. But when we start the war, we want to switch back to build intel network. Okay, now we're waiting for army experience to pick relief of command. Okay, as soon as you get to 35 army experience, you should immediately pick relief of command. This is one of the great advantages of being a democracy. This is an absolutely fantastic spirit, so let's pick it right away. At the same time, we are also going to build more military factories in the 100% provinces. And we're going to build infrastructures and military factories in Rhône, Champagne, and Alsace-Lorraine. I'm really sorry if you're French and you're watching this guide, you will hate me, but I'm sorry. Now, at this time, we're also going to start positioning our armies for the intervention in Spain. I don't want to spoiler too much what's going to happen, but we're going to send one army at the border here, another army at the border here, and the defensive army in the area of Marseille. We're also going to send our mountaineers. Everybody will take part in this war. Mountaineers will be here. And later on we'll plan the offensive lines in there. We can also assign trades, maybe not this one, but I will give him some charismatic, why not? Yeah, you can assign some of the trades if you want. continue. And actually, despite this, we are not going to aid Spain when we get this message, so we cannot risk our political stability. And now we are waiting for political power. We're going to need 200 political power for what we need to do. Okay, now that we got the anarchists, we can actually start planning the offensives. I will use a spearhead into anarchist Spain with the goal. And I will use a spearhead to like Bilbao, Burgos with Jean de Latre. And with the mountaineers, we can also do a little push in the mountains here. This way they will start getting some planning bonuses for later. And now at exactly 200 political power, the timing should be perfect, the war tension should be enough, you should have 15% war support. What we are going to do at this point is we're going to make our spectacular entrance in the civil war in Spain. Spain is suffering, they are about to lose, but we will save them. So thanks to the focus that we picked, we are able to do allow volunteer work. We unlock these new decisions down here. So we're going to pick allow volunteer work. And that should be enough to unlock intervene on side of Spain. And once we do that, we're actually in this war ourselves directly at war with nationalist Spain and anarchist Spain. That's not all. We need to do some planning here. So the other big advantage of doing that, and that's why we waited until 200 political power, is that we can pick right away partial mobilization, which is absolutely amazing. So we're going to pick it right away. Then we really do not want to lose convoys to nationalist Spain, so I'm going to block all of the sea regions around Spain, except for this one that we're going to use. And I'm also going to block the Eastern Mediterranean Sea, so that our trade does not go through the Mediterranean at all. I am going to give the maximum motorization priority to our divisions, all of them. We have enough trucks for that. And they can also execute aggressively battle plans. I'm going to select our fleet in here. I'm going to split them into a balanced way, and I'm going to set them on a strike force in Western Mediterranean Sea. I am going to split around our planes between our two infantry divisions. So about half of the planes to one and about half to the other. More or less something like this. It doesn't need to be precise. We're also going to pick bold attack so that if our generals level up in Spain, they will get, they may get some extra stats, which are always nice. And we're going to build more military factories in the 100% provinces and then in the 80% provinces, all of them. So these ones too. If there was some factories being built, make sure to prioritize it above the other ones, but still below the infrastructures. Okay, what we are going to do with our defensive army here is we are going to send it to protect the other Spain here, the good Spain, let's call them, because we really don't want them to capitulate while we push the northern part of Spain. Now, if you know the civil war in Spain, I will not mention this in detail, but they have this massive debuff in several provinces. As you can see, there is a division attack minus 90%. Which is what makes this civil war in Spain so long. So despite our very good divisions here, the civil war will still take quite a while. But that's actually a good thing, because the main reason for us to join the civil war in Spain is to farm some nice army experience and we already did that, to pick partial mobilization. So we can start the offensives right away, start building immediately army experience.
Continue l'attaque.
By the way, if you want to micromanage the war to farm specific trades, this would be the right chance to do so. I will just keep it simple as possible. So I'm not going to do any of that. Just going to literally let it go. I just don't know why these guys didn't think it was a good idea to join their friends. But that's okay. When you get this message, it doesn't matter much, but I usually let Turkey take back Hete. And usually Anarchy Spain goes down first, so let's see if that's the case here too. That should be the case, I think. Okay, now when Anarchist Spain goes down, I would recommend trying to annex anything you can. In this case, we don't actually have that much war score. Maybe we can take Eastern Aragon, let's see. So we can try to take Eastern Aragon, I think. We probably don't have enough points for Catalonia. Let's try to get this. Okay, seems good. Fine, we're happy with that. From Anarchy Spain, we cannot hope to get more. Yeah, one more thing that is worth mentioning. I will mention it again later with the bigger peace conference. Here you actually have a choice between annexing and puppeting. The problem is if you puppet, you actually get a satellite puppet, not a proper puppet. And that's because we are a democracy. And satellite puppets are much worse because they automatically slowly gain autonomy and eventually break free. They can never be integrated, they can never be annexed. On the other hand, if we annex Spain and release it as a puppet, it will be a regular puppet. The disadvantage is we cannot take resource rights and war reparations, but we can still import from them at very convenient rates. So overall, annexing them and releasing them as a puppet, it's going to be better, especially in the long run, after we can decrease their autonomy. While puppeting them right away with resource rights and war reparations is going to be better in the short run. Both are viable options, so I will leave that up to you, but I will annex them. Okay, we're happy here. Though for some reason, oh well, it's occupied, I guess. Should be mine, right? Yeah. Okay, let's reorganize the divisions a little bit here.
Gardez vos rangs.
I guess these guys can push right here in the mountains.
Bougez-vous.
And they can push along the entire front, but I do want, if possible, we kill these ones. These MIOs don't matter if you're watching the unedited version. And by the way, do not spend the army experience on doctrines, we will do it later. But if you get enough air experience, you may want to get the spirits. Not yet, but almost. Okay, now for example, we can take the air crew surveys. Here is our MIO priority for infantry equipment.
Paré. Gardez vos rangs.
Here is the MIO priority for fighters.
Paré.
If you get this message, always divert the bomber production. And when picking this focus, we're also going to make some adjustments to the production. We bring the support equipment production to 5. The anti-air production to 4. Infantry equipment stays at 15, but we now bring the production of artillery to maximum and the priority to the lowest. So all future factories should go to improved artillery, after of course the anti-air ones. From this point on, the civil war in Spain should start being faster. Probably we could already end it if we wanted by just pushing Sevilla. Maybe we can do that actually. We farmed enough army experience to be satisfied with this, so we can end it.
Attention.
You basically have full control over what happens in this civil war. If you want to end it faster, you can do it. If you want to extend it a bit further, you can. But this I feel is like the right amount of time. So with the timing I showed you, because we get enough army experience, but we don't burn too much equipment, and we can get ready for World War II. Now, what do you do in the peace conference? I already mentioned it earlier, so I prefer to annex rather than Puppet. And the priority is to take the stuff that is most rich, like Catalonia, for example. And then ideally we want to take some of this nice tungsten, and maybe some iron. So for now we can only take Catalonia, which is sad. How much do we have? We don't have that much war score, so we probably cannot take that much. So let's try to take this stuff here. Maybe Navarra. Oh, we don't have enough points. Okay. Wonder if we can take one more, but probably not. I know. Okay, yeah, not great. Sometimes you can take a little bit more, sometimes it's a bit less, but overall I would try to take Catalonia, I would try to take Burgos, I would try to take at least one of the tungsten areas, so we can import it from there, from them at much more convenient rates. And then maybe something to connect them to our land, like in this case. Otherwise, I don't even know if you can trade with them. So that's probably better. You could take also Western Aragon and Leon if you have a bit more points. But overall, something like this. Let's confirm. Now, we are immediately going to release Spain as a puppet. So we go into occupied territories, and somewhere here there should be nationalist Spain, release nation, release as puppet, and that's it. So as I mentioned earlier, in this way we can later on import from them at more convenient rates, and when we can decrease their autonomy, they will be actually a regular puppet, which is not bad. The other thing we want to do right now is we are going to take advantage of the experience that our nice... where is he? Jean de Lattre was able to farm, and we're going to promote him into a marshal. In fact, he will be the new main marshal. Now let's see if we got a nice trade with him. No, unfortunately no. If you're lucky, he can get the infantry specialist trait, which is a very, very nice trait to have later on. That was not the case now, but it's still fine. We can still give him some of the other traits. The offensive ones, of course, in this case, because he's going to lead the offensive armies. Let's give him something like this. That's not bad at all. Yeah, some of this may be decent too. Maybe army maneuver. Now, the other thing we are going to do is we are going to unblock these sea regions. We can stop, of course, the strike force in here. We don't need the navy to protect that area anymore, but we can leave this Eastern Mediterranean Sea blocked already for later, because we want it blocked anyway.
Attention.
Now we will take care of the armies a bit better later. For now, we can just send them back to where they were before.
Attention.
Now, soon we should get a very nice event. And there it is, this volunteers return. And we will actually send them back and get a very nice boost to our base stability. The alternative is to get a boost to popularity of democracy, which is actually also very good. But 6% stability, 7%, that's amazing. Also, maybe it's bugged. I'm not really sure what's going on with this message, but sometimes you get it 2 times. Sometimes you get it even 3 consecutive times. Well, I will take the stability. I don't know if it is a bug or not, but go back to Spain. And this doesn't matter. See, we got it again. And let's send them back again and get some more stability. I won't complain about that. Now, at 50 political power, we are going to revoke the Matignon agreements, which will actually decrease our stability a little bit, so it's good that we got some extra stability.
Gardez vos rangs.
And by the way, as you can see, our armies also got some very nice experience, our troops. By the way, some of these improvements, like releasing Algeria, like being involved in the civil war in Spain, were recommended and suggested by some of you under my older guides. So I would like to thank you, first of all, for the suggestions. And I would like you to why can I not speak today, guys? Why can I not speak? It's good that this is an edited video and only you in the unedited version, you're seeing me struggle. So, I would like to thank you for the suggestions and remind you that you can suggest new improvements under all of my videos. I'm always glad, I always check them and I apply them to future versions of those guides, as you can see. So, thank you very much. And here is our MIO priority for the motorized and mechanized. Now, at 150 political power, we're going to pick the financial expert. And we are going to change our infantry template into the offensive template. Also going to give them a much cooler icon. We will make them elite. And basically what we're going to do is we're going to add a lot of artillery to this template. This will make them a lot more viable offensively. We're also going to give them support anti-air. We're going to give them the cavalry recon department or detachment, whatever it was, detachment, and the field hospital. So this is going to be our final offensive template. This will carry us through World War II. I'm also going to make a little change to the defensive template by adding the engineer company. And then we're going to recruit another 2 offensive divisions and 48 defensive ones. This will completely wipe out our manpower, but do not worry about it, it's going to be fine. We are going to leave the Czechs to their fate, sadly.
has come back from his third and greatest journey, and he said, "With the settlement of the Czechoslovakian problem, which has now been achieved, is, in my view, only the prelude to a large..."
And now, as you can see, we lock tungsten and we can buy it from our French Spain, which means we only need to spend one civilian factories on it. One civilian factory on it.
I had another talk with the German Chancellor, Herr Hitler. And here is the paper which bears his name upon it as well as mine.
We do not need to invest in Turkey.
Some of you perhaps have already heard what it contains. I would just like to read it to you.
Okay, at 150 political power, we're going to pick the War Industrialist.
Prime Minister have had a further meeting today and are agreed in recognizing that the question of Anglo-German relations is of the first importance for the two countries and for Europe. We regard the agreement signed last night and the Anglo-German naval agreement as symbolic of the desire of our two peoples never to go to war with one another again. We are resolved that the method of conflict...
Alright, right now we want to pick the improved small airframe, but we also want to wait for this focus to complete. So as soon as this focus is done, we're going to pick, as you can see, the timing is perfect. We're going to pick the improved small airframe with a 100% discount, which is amazing. And now it is time to re-annex Algeria with course, which will also fix, partially at least, our manpower problems. At 50 political power, we are going to pick the ground support specialist, so we can build up some air experience as well. Now, at 100 political power, I usually pick improved worker conditions to further boost our stability. The stability is not bad, but it's still a bit on the risky side, so this is just to be safe. It's not absolutely mandatory, and it's a bit sad to lose that factory output for 180 days, so I will leave this up to you. If you feel like risking it, you can avoid picking this, but I prefer going for it and playing it safe. When you get this message about the Swiss Confederation, I usually go for civilian economies, so you get more construction speed and less consumer good factories. It's a pretty good deal. And if you already get free civilian factories, you may get them a little bit later. But in any case, when you get free civilian factories, you build tier 4 forts at the border with Belgium. So let's do that right away. Okay, so something like these, tier 4 forts at the border with Belgium. Now, this will help massively when we fight Germany. However, you have a choice. You can build higher tier forts, 5, 6, and even more. Usually from 5, from tier 5, definitely from tier 6, Germany will stop attacking you. I build them only all the way up to 4 because I actually want Germany to burn their manpower, their divisions into our forts. So 4 will guarantee that Germany keeps attacking and losing units, while higher tier forts will stop them from attacking. Sometimes you may want to stop them from attacking though. It's good to know that if you build higher tier forts, you will stop them. Of course, you still need divisions in there. It's not like if you have tier 5 forts and no divisions, they will not attack. But if you have a decent amount of divisions and higher tier forts, they will not attack. We're also going to upgrade the supply hub in Nice. And we want these forts, by the way, to be the higher priority. So we want them to be built before the military factories. The supply hub is not that important, but the forts are important. Okay, then when you complete this research, let me show you right away. When you complete this research, it's time to design our new fighters. I believe by now you already know this design. It's the usual F2 design, extremely solid for World War II. Just remember to press the auto upgrade here, and then you can save it, and we can start producing it. So what we're going to do is we're going to bring the production of support equipment to 10. We're going to reduce the production of artillery to 4, and we're going to put everything else into the F2. Naturally, we also need to adjust trade, which means we don't need tungsten anymore, but we need some rubber. Buy it from the UK primarily, and then from Malaya, but from the UK it's safer, because it will not be intercepted. We're also going to add anti-air to our defensive units. We're going to pick the Army Logistics Advisor right here. And then if you can, in this case we were unlucky, we couldn't get it. But if you're the lot got Infantry Expert, pick that one too. We're not going to pick it because we don't have it. Now we also want to force deploy all of the divisions that are still training, and we want to prepare our armies for World War II. So, first of all, we're going to assign the 2 offensive divisions to the 2 offensive armies, and then we're going to create another 2 defensive armies with the new divisions that we recruited. Now what we want is we want only 2 offensive armies with the Latre, And for the second offensive general, we are going to pick Alphonse. We're going to replace the second marshal because Maxime is actually very good at this point, so we're going to use him too for defensive purposes. We can give him some traits as well. Logistic wizard is always very good, so why not?
Attention.
For the two remaining defensive armies, I'm going to use the two Henry whatever it is, and Henry Giraud. Now, how do we set up these armies? First of all, let's make sure that they all have the motorization priority and aggressively execute battle plans. Motorization priorities and normally execute battle plans for the defensive armies. Then what we want is the new general and one defensive army, maybe one of the new ones at the border with Belgium. Then we want a defensive army at the border with Germany here. And then we want a defensive army to cover the 4 lowest tiles in here, 3, 4. And the mountaineers to cover the topmost 4 tiles, 1, 2, 3, 4, something like this. To these two armies I also give an offensive line into Italy.
Attention.
They may use it later on, although the main push against Italy will be carried on by De Gaulle. So for De Gaulle I usually tell them all to go to Marseille. And then select the ones with the most experience, definitely not the 2 newest ones. The other ones are basically all the same. And plan a naval invasion from Toulon to the area of Genoa all the way to Livorno, actually to down here. So groups of 2.
Attention. Gardez vos rangs. Attention. Paré.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay, groups of 2, a total of 10 divisions into the coast of Italy with a naval invasion. Now, the other thing we want to do is we want to make sure that they're all trained, so shift click on training on both marshals, so make sure that all of the divisions are training for World War II. If there are important traits, assign them, but if there are non-important traits, do not assign them. Maybe I will make, actually I will need to make a dedicated video on that at some point. I will do it, I promise. And then we are going to release Tunisia as a puppet. It should be down here. Why do we release Tunisia? Because Tunisia is at the border with Italy. And if we release it now as a puppet, we don't need to worry about this border anymore. Italy will not be able to attack us in here, so we don't need to spend any divisions defending this area. If you want, you can re-annex it later. I think we lose only one civilian factory from here, so totally fine. It's worth not having to protect an extra border. Okay, for now we can continue. Now, World War II is starting, but not for us, so for now we don't need to do anything.
I am speaking to you from the cabinet room at 10 Downing Street. This morning, the British ambassador in Berlin handed the German government a final note stating that unless we heard from them by the 11th, they were prepared at once to withdraw their troops from Poland. A state of war would exist between us. I can tell you now that no
Now, what we want to do is we want to keep an eye on the war tension. Usually after Belgium and the Netherlands go down, you get to 100% war tension. there we go. Actually, Belgium is not fully down yet, but in any case, at 100% war tension, we want to start justifying a war goal on Italy. Anywhere in Italy is fine. We also want to merge all of our navy in Toulon. So let's make sure, especially that the newer fleet is going to Toulon. We want to deploy and train all our planes. Actually, we don't have extra planes at the moment, so we're just going to gather all of them in here and we're going to train all of them. And then we're going to import some oil from the United States. I usually import a total of 10 civilian factories. That's actually quite a lot, so probably you could get away with a little bit less, but I don't want to run out of oil during the war. Just to be on the safe side, I go for 10 civilian factories. And then as soon as Belgium goes down, let's wait for a little bit longer. Okay, we want to rearrange the divisions up here just a little bit. What we want is the offensive one to cover the area, but not all the way to Metz. In Metz we already have high-level forts, so we don't need these divisions to be in there. Actually, I want these guys to be here. And these army here, so the defensive army will follow them in the same exact place. And then the army that is at the border with Germany will not be under a lot of pressure, so you can extend their border a little bit, something like this. If you position them like this, you will not need to pay any attention to this front. They will be totally fine against Germany.
Attention.
And ideally, we should be fairly close to having them all trained. Now, there is a little bit of RNG as to when Germany attacks us. Sometimes they do it in December, more frequently they do it around March, and sometimes they do it so late that we have enough time to declare war on Italy before they actually attack us. This stuff doesn't matter.
Attention.
In any case, as you can see, we will have all of the divisions trained by the time Germany attacks, wherever they attack. Whenever they attack. I may have made a mistake here. Okay, I wanted this with this. Now, actually, it's slightly better if Germany attacks you right away in December, because they will burn more of their divisions and equipment and so on, and they will actually farm some experience, some convenient experience for our general. But if they don't, it's still fine. Also, remember to pick the spirits before you pick the doctrines. So we go for centralized control here. Okay, we got our claim on France, and Germany hasn't attacked. And Germany has not attacked us yet, which means we will make our entrance in World War II by attacking Italy. That's totally fine. That's why in this way we reduce the RNG impact to a minimum. We got our claim on Italy. Regardless of what Germany does, we are going to start our war. So now it may be a good time to make a save though, just in case. Alright then, war on Italy. What do? We pick right away war economy. Then we pick the military theorist, and we start having some fun with the army experience and with our doctrines. You may want to stay with the Grand Battle Plan. It's totally viable, and you will be able to rush night assault tactics, which is very good. But overall, I must say, again, I will make a dedicated video, but I must say I had better success with superior firepower. So what I would recommend doing is I would go for the first 5 doctrines in here. The first 5, because these 2 are absolutely amazing. And after picking these ones, I would recommend picking Smoke and Fire. We lack 1 army experience to do it. Of course, there is a bit of RNG in how much army experience you have, but we will get it very soon anyway. Then you pick the Suppressive Barrage preferred tactic, and you give it to the generals who can already pick it. So, for example, de Gaulle can pick it. That's absolutely amazing. Very good. Then you pick all of the air spirits before the air doctrines, but if you have some spare air experience, of course, start going for the first air doctrines. Then we want to deploy and assign all planes down here. We may have quite a bit of new ones, so let's deploy all of them. And let's assign all of them to de Gaulle, which will be pushing, or who will be pushing in Italy. We also want to pick the Army Offense Advisor at this point to get that nice plus 10% division attack. We do not want to forget to switch back the Intel network in Italy, so we get the nice bonuses we mentioned earlier. And then we're also going to utilize domestic film industry to boost our war support and consequently also our stability. Now we are ready for Italy. And by the way, guys, I updated the spreadsheets for the latest guides at least to include a lot more stuff. So if you purchase the tier 2 membership to the channel, now you will have detailed information on how to position your armies, the generals, the specific tactics to use, how to push into each one of your opponents. So I'm working a lot on all of these spreadsheets to make them even better, to make them even more worth the subscription and the membership. So let me know also what you think about them. If you're a member of the channel and you checked out the new spreadsheets, let me know if you like them the way they are. I will use them myself right now to check what to do in the war against Italy. Though I actually remember, because I tested this run 1 billion times. The fleet, feel free to manage it differently, but what I usually do is simply split it into 2 and set them on naval invasion support. We should be able to get a naval superiority right away and to trigger our naval invasion right away. So let's do that. Meanwhile, as soon as the naval invasion triggers, I would move all of the other division to Nice, so that later on they can move from this port to Italy more quickly without being intercepted, hopefully. If you want, you can also use a force attack to increase your success chance in invading. Perfect. Now let's see if we can give a hand to the people in Genoa. They are struggling a little bit, but we already disembarked in here, which is amazing. Now what you want to do here is the main priority is cutting off the northern and southern part of Italy as fast as possible. Also, let's pick the smoke and fire, as we mentioned earlier.
Allez, on se bouge.
They have a lot of divisions in Genoa. They're all in Genoa. Look at that.
Tirs ennemis.
But we already captured some harbors, which means we can send over the rest of our army, offensive army it is.
Arrêt. Gardez vos rangs.
Now, if you see that Italy is moving away a lot of divisions from the border, that's a good time to start the two offensives with the defensive and mountaineers in here too. They may not be able to push, but they will force Italy to keep some of their divisions. Now, at this point, what I usually like to do is I like to split offensive into two. So as we split Italy into two, I also want to have two offensive armies in here. So I create a new general. I give this usually to Philippe Leclerc. And I give about 10 divisions to the southern army. So he has 3, let's give him 7. Okay, so we use one army to push in the south, this one. And the other 14 divisions, we keep them in the north, pushing to split off, this time, Germany as fast as possible. So the next priority is to cut off Germany. Now, if you see that you're struggling with supplies, try to do some stuff with the naval regions, because sometimes supplies tend to get very much bugged. So if you block and then unlock again some naval regions, you may be able to fix it. Supplies are very bugged, unfortunately. The other thing that will, of course, fix them is being able to unite the land in here. But we need to be a little bit patient for now. This may turn into a nice encirclement if things go well, however. Okay, finally Germany decided to take part in this war. Hopefully they will do it from the north and not from Italy, otherwise they can be a little bit annoying.
Attention.
Okay, nice.
Attention.
Did get this encirclement in the end.
Attention.
Hey, this is not nice. Why did you leave Venice?
Gardez vos
Come on,
rangs.
guys. Now, if Germany is not too annoying, it is usually better to cut off them completely and take all of northern Italy. Because in that way, we will trigger the civil war in Italy more quickly, which is very beneficial.
Gardez vos rangs. Attention. Gardez vos rangs.
Please go there. Our setup in north with forts and good divisions make it so that you don't need to pay too much attention to this front. You can just let them push and die, which is amazing.
Bougez-vous. Attention. Attention. Gardez vos rangs. Gardez vos rangs.
Okay, Italy is looking very good actually.
Bougez-vous. Gardez vos rangs. Gardez vos rangs.
Now, do keep in mind that as soon as you reach Germany, they will send quite a lot of divisions down here, so you may want to be ready for that. And if you're struggling to push down here, you can also stop this push temporarily and start it later. Use the navy to support them, but if you're not pushing, you don't need the navy, so you can save some fuel, like in this case.
Gardez vos rangs.
We don't really need to take this last part here. Maybe just until there, but that's okay.
Bougez-vous.
Okay, the northern part of Italy is done. So what do we do at this point? We can send our offensive army down here entirely. We don't need them in northern Italy anymore. And if you conquered enough of northern Italy, if Germany was not too annoying, by taking Naples and Taranto, Italy should go into a civil war, so you don't need to invade Sicily. Worst case scenario, if Germany stopped you up here, you plan a naval invasion of Sicily. Nothing too bad.
Gardez vos rangs.
Now, of course, we need to defend this northern border versus Germany, so we are going to send the mountaineers and the defensive army that we had here at the border with Germany. I still want to take this bit here before we go down. Now, at this point, you don't really need the spy in Italy anymore. You could do it even a little bit earlier. You can start spying in Luxembourg. Now we can also maybe speed up the game a little bit.
Attention. Attention. Gardez vos rangs. Attention.
And using trains would not be terrible, guys, huh? Just telling you. But yeah, if you like to walk, sure, why not? We all know that Italian trains are not the best. So I see your point.
Continuez l'attaque.
If Germany pushes back and takes back some land here, just don't worry about it. Don't waste your units on taking it back. They don't have victory points in there anymore, anyway. Now here we can push a little bit more, and we can use our navy to make it easier for them. Okay, when you get the elections, there are several possible options here. We didn't get the best one. Again, I would go for the lower stability and increase the popularity of democracy. But actually, if you can afford the extra communism and you're worried about stability, you can do that one too. But see, this is why we increase the stability a bit further, just to be safe. So let's go for this one. It's fine. Italy is putting up a fight down here. Sometimes they can. They have a lot of divisions, like in this case, but we have very good divisions, very good doctrines, so we will push them. Don't worry. It depends a little bit on how many of their divisions you can encircle in the north. But see, it worked quite well.
Attention. Allez, allez,
Let's go
allez.
for an encirclement here. Well, they will not have a lot of divisions for much longer. So probably the Civil War will save them.
Bougez-vous. Attention. Retour.
Taranto should be enough. Okay, Civil War, perfect. I usually slow down a little bit here because I want to make sure that I transfer the occupied territory. This means we don't need to take it in the peace conference. That's very convenient. Okay, and now we are done with Italy. What do we do at this point? We go on to Italy, we request forces, we take all of their forces.
Pareil.
We create a new army here, but actually half of them I usually give to my mountaineers just to keep things easy. And then any general is fine. Give them this guy. And send all of the Italian divisions to protect the Italian border against Germany. With all of these extra divisions, you can be assured that this border is in good hands. The Germans will not be able to push in there. You don't need to worry about that anymore. Now, here we got some nice trades. Well, some okay trades. What did we get here? Okay, artillery specialist. I prefer the infantry specialist, but artillery is also okay. So let's go on and pick it. It's here. It's still actually pretty nice, so let's do it. And then after Italy goes down, we want to immediately build infrastructures everywhere in Italy. That's going to be useful to decrease their autonomy later on. If you want to build something else, feel free to do so. I usually go for infrastructures. We want to spy Luxembourg, we already did that. And we want to move our navy and planes to the border with Germany. So we can stop the naval invasion support. And we can move everybody up here to Dunkirk. We want to do the same thing with the planes. So let's select all planes, send them up here. I will temporarily assign them to this region. Actually, we can assign them to this army instead. And I can recruit as well. I will recruit and deploy all of the new planes that we built in the meantime. Now we prepare the push against Germany.
Bougez-vous.
And for the push against Germany, we are going to use this army. Of course, look at this. Look at how nice the Germans were. They gave us so much experience. Lovely. And we're going to use all of this experience right now against them. So with the first offensive army, we plan with a spearhead. You can go with an offensive line or you can micro if you prefer. But we go for the area of Utrecht. Up here. Just make sure that you don't push beyond this river. So stay on this side of the river here. But do take this area up here. Because from here we will start a push up there. The second push.
Attention.
Now, this army is not doing as well. Because probably we took a lot of casualties with them. That's okay though. They do have a difficult push here, because they will need to push from this area here all the way to Essen and Dortmund. Well, something like this. Hopefully, I mean, the idea here is to be able to push beyond the river, so that we have a good starting point to expand in this area. But this is a difficult push, so sometimes they struggle a little bit. We are not in a hurry anyway, do not worry, we have time. So no more Italy, that's perfect. So what we want to do is we want to make sure that they have enough time. Oh, this is nice. They have enough time to get the full planning bonus against Germany.
Gardez vos rangs.
And also, I want to make sure that they are using the freaking trains.
Gardez vos rangs.
Okay,
Attention.
as usual here, if you lose any land, do not take it back. It's okay.
Gardez vos rangs. Attention.
You can play... Oh no, I don't have enough command power. Never mind. if you have enough command power, you can use a staff office plan to speed up some of the 2 pushes in here. If not, it's fine. Now, at 100 political power, if you want, you can pick the air superiority expert, especially if you have the command power to do so. I'm not going to pick it because it's fine. We'll get the air superiority anyway, very easily, with our amazing fighters. And I prefer to have some extra political power to speed up the annexation of Italy later on. But other than that, we're fine.
Pareil.
Okay, let's go back to speed 4 though. And now we can actually split the planes, including the new ones, again between the 2 armies.
Pareil. Gardez vos rangs. Gardez vos rangs.
Nice, we get a full axis. I'm happy. A difficult one. Sometimes Hungary doesn't join the axis. Okay, now the Germans are very scared that they stopped attacking us completely. So it is time for us to attack them. What we're going to do is we're going to set our navy on invasion support so that we get some help along the coast at least. Then we're going to make a save and we're going to start both offensives at the same time against Germany. Okay, let's go and see how it goes. And despite the Germans having a lot of divisions in here, it's looking good. It's looking very good. Oh, by the way, let me mention something. When you start an offensive, of course, you want to see green numbers. Red numbers are not good, so we're not happy that we are not able to push in here and in here. But red numbers can still mean something good. And what it means in this specific case is that these 6 units are pinned in here. These 8 units are pinned in here. They cannot move. They cannot reinforce the other front. So we're pushing at the same time here and here. And I know that this one is a difficult push. They may not be able to get it done. But at least they will stop a lot of German divisions from reinforcing this other push, which is being quite successful. Now at this point I like to reassign a bit the defensive army in here, see if they can help, especially on that side. Oh really? This never happened to me. I didn't know that Switzerland can stop the agreement. Okay, that's sad. That was a nice agreement. I see chances for a big encirclement here. Let's see if we can get it. Maybe not. Because they're retreating, these guys. Ah, sad. That's okay. Okay, when you unlock, when you complete the heavy bombs research, it is time to design our CAS. Oh, you researched them on purpose. Let's use them. Okay, this is the design that we are going to use for our CAS. We can save it and we can start producing it, but not before we upgrade the MIO for the F2. Unfortunately, we don't get a CAS designer. That's okay. We're going to set the production of CAS to 25 and we're going to take them all from the F2. Let's also make sure at this point that we already assigned and deployed all planes. We have some new ones, so let's assign them. How much I hate these special forces doctrines. They trigger this notification and then I cannot pick the actually important doctrines. It's very annoying. Okay, we did get an encirclement there. Okay, the first push up here was absolutely perfect. We pushed everything we needed. This was a great success. And we are going to extend it, because now from this corner up here, we are going to push all the way to Bremen, Münster, Dortmund, and Essen. Of course, we need to be careful now, because we need these guys to protect the rest of the front up here. We don't want to lose what we took so painfully. If the second front is suffering a bit, more than suffering a bit, I don't know why they are all here. They shouldn't be all here. Let's rearrange them just a bit. Just make sure that they push properly this time. No, 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 I don't want to do so.
Attention.
Need them.
Attention.
Okay, no, it's fine. Now, we do not need the naval invasion support anymore, so we can stop it. Let's pick doctrines and air doctrines as soon as possible, whenever possible.
Gardez vos rangs.
Let's try to keep pushing. Keep the pressure up. Okay, I like the way this looks. Now, of course, whenever you get encirclements, you can close them. Always good to encircle and kill German divisions.
Gardez vos rangs.
Need to pay a little bit of attention down here.
Pas de pitié. Attention. Bougez-vous.
Okay, very good. Very, very good with these pushes. And finally, we got infantry expert on the new general as well. And suppressive barrage. Very good as well.
Bougez-vous.
Okay, now we can set the main offensive army to push a bit more up here. So here we're going to plan a big push all the way to Rostock and Magdeburg. We do need to push more with the second army that has been struggling a little bit here. But that's fine. Now we passed the river, and that was the main thing. So now we can push for Kassel and Frankfurt.
Bougez-vous.
Let's make sure that these guys are assigned properly. Maybe we need them a bit more here.
Attention.
Let's push.
Pareil.
Okay, now I do want to take care of Denmark as well, because I don't want to keep this border on. The Germans don't usually have a lot of divisions in there, so you can just send a couple of units to do that job. But we do need to rearrange these guys a little bit, otherwise they will mess up. Now here, the next push we want to be for Stettin, Dresden, and Berlin in it, of course, as well.
Gardez vos rangs. Attention. Attention. Bougez-vous.
For the second army, now that we got Frankfurt, we're going to push for Nuremberg, Ulm, Stuttgart, and we try to get an encirclement in here.
Attention.
Don't block this.
Continuez l'attaque. Attention. Gardez vos rangs.
Berlin is down, and I forgot the Prince. So one good news, one bad news. Let's see if we got any more planes. We do. Always assign the new planes.
Pareil.
Okay, but I do want to take care of Denmark, so please go there.
Attention.
Okay, this is the time where this is why sometimes it's better to go for an offensive line, not for a spearhead. See how they are messing up completely the front up here. That's because we're using a spearhead, but that's okay. You can fix that by giving them a defensive army to cover the front sometimes. It's still okay because the Germans are almost broken at this point.
Attention. Attention. Gardez vos rangs.
But okay, let's actually adjust this a little bit. We have basically already pushed everything I want to push, so now we can use a normal offensive line, and we can micromanage them a little bit instead of pushing like this. So here, for example, I would like to push this area. I would like to push this. I would like to push this. I would like to push all the way here.
Gardez vos rangs.
I do want to take Stettin. I want to take this.
Bougez-vous.
Push there. We're doing very good with this southern army now.
Gardez vos rangs.
Perfect. Now we got the encirclement here. Germany is almost done.
Gardez vos rangs. Paré. Attention.
Well, we couldn't take care of Denmark. Oh, damn it.
Attention. Bougez-vous.
Okay, now with this army here, we do need to pay a little bit of attention because we want to push these encirclement and destroy it completely.
Paré.
While the other defensive army can just go there.
Paré.
Let's see if we can do it right away, if we can do it easily and smoothly. Probably not. Despite being encircled and without supplies, they still put up a fight, the Germans.
Paré.
Okay, I do want Dresden.
Attention. Attention. Repli.
Yeah, maybe letting them push into our level 10 forts was not the best idea. But I will admit that this could have been managed slightly better. Still.
Gardez vos rangs. Gardez vos rangs. Retraite. Gardez vos rangs.
So, do things properly. What you should do at this point is you take like 6-7 of these divisions, you create a new army, give them another general, you send them to Denmark, and you finally push fucking Denmark. And let's do that then.
Paré.
What the fuck are you doing?
Gardez vos rangs. Attention. Gardez vos rangs. Continuez d'avancer. Gardez vos rangs.
Okay, we are going to play this a little bit smarter. I shouldn't have let them take the forts in here, so I'll let them enjoy the fucking forts while we push them somewhere else. The area where we really want to push at this point is this one, because we're almost done with the war actually, so we do want to take care of this southern part of Germany.
Bougez-vous.
Let's make sure that we assign all planes. We have quite a lot of them to assign. Most of the pushes now will be done by the Southern Army, so we can assign all planes to them.
Attention. Attention.
Why did you fucking stop?
Attention.
Okay, let's keep pushing Germany here.
Gardez vos rangs.
Now, a lot of the German divisions are actually in this encirclement. There are forts, so I cannot kill them, but it's still an encirclement. And we can go all the way to Vienna and just end the war.
Bougez-vous. Bougez-vous.
Okay, by the way, we can lower the autonomy of Italy, which is great, because we need to annex them later on to form the European Union. Let's go on and do that.
Gardez vos rangs. Gardez vos rangs. Pas de pitié.
Okay, Vienna is about to go down.
Bougez-vous. Allez, allez, allez.
Maybe not.
Bougez-vous.
Yeah, I don't want to push in these forts, please. But I do want to push Vienna, come on.
Gardez vos rangs. Bougez-vous. Bougez-vous. Attention. Gardez vos rangs.
Oh, we got Vienna. Is it enough? It should be enough. It is enough. So World War II is officially over, and it is January 1941. This is pretty good timing. It's not my best, to be honest. I could have managed World War II a little bit better. We struggled a bit in Italy. We struggled a bit to push in Germany. I couldn't close some of the encirclements. So there is definitely room for improvement. In many of my test runs, I achieved better results. Let's check the casualties as well. Probably a bit higher than normal. Yeah, 300k. It's quite a lot of casualties. You can keep them a bit lower, but this shows that there is margin for this strategy. There is room for mistakes, which is the main point. My strategies are always optimized so that even if you do not do it perfectly, even if you mess up the war a little bit, you can still get it done. By the way, one thing we didn't get it done was taking fucking Denmark. This will be my nightmare for the rest of this run. Why didn't you take Denmark? Well, it doesn't matter, because now we take everything. Okay, let's talk about the peace conference. In any case, we can be very happy because we won World War II entirely by ourselves. No help whatsoever from the Allies, no help from anyone. Our divisions, with the amazing army experience that I didn't use for the Lost Doctrine, air experience, amazing planes, we were able to absolutely dominate World War II despite my mistakes. Now, let's do the peace conference. We got a whooping 84% of the world score, which is absolutely amazing too. And now we need to be careful here because we need to take everything we need to make the European Union. And for that we need Italy. We already have Italy, but let's make sure to take Sardinia. We want to take all of the cores from Luxembourg, Belgium, the Netherlands, and I also usually add this one here, Curaçao, because we never know, just in case in future you want to go for the United States, Curaçao is very convenient to have. So I usually annex it and release it as a puppet. The other ones here, we want to keep them, we don't want to release them. And then we keep annexing all of the German cores, as long as we have points, then we pass the turn and we annex more. We don't want to annex Denmark, that's why we didn't take it, see? It was on purpose. It's not a core of Germany, so we don't need it. We can continue taking the German cores in here. Do keep in mind that Czechoslovakia is also not a core of Germany. And Austria, despite being a core of Germany, will not be cored with the European Union. I still take it usually, but consider that it will not be cored in the European Union. Okay, now that we are done with Germany, we can leave all of these Czechoslovakian stuff in there. We can go on and also annex all of Hungary. It depends on how many points you have, but with 84% of the war score, we can definitely afford to do this. And we can also take Romania. For sure, I think we can also take Bulgaria. It depends a bit on how much the Brits decide to be annoying. Let's give them Albania, let's give them the African stuff. And maybe we can take for ourselves even Denmark. Yeah, you know why? You know what? I'll take Denmark. After all we have been through, I need to take Denmark. Probably we can even take... we could even take Czechoslovakia, but you know what? Let's play it safe and assume that you didn't get all this war score. Because actually, if you play the war better, that's the funny part. If you play the war better, you have less casualties. So you have a lower war score. We got a higher war score because I fucked up a little bit. So that's a good thing about it. So okay, let's say we're happy with this. Let's confirm all of this stuff. Make sure that we take all of it. No, it's my... Okay. So we give up on Czechoslovakia, Albania, and the African things, and then we take the navy from everyone, just in case. So as you can see, we still had 1,000 points, so probably we could have gone for Czechoslovakia, but you know what? Maybe you don't have enough points, maybe something else. So this is the most important stuff. Actually, Germany is the most important stuff. Hungary, Romania, and Bulgaria, you're not able to core anyway, so we're going to make puppets out of them. Okay, done. We are happy with the peace conference, and what we're going to do right away is we're going to check how much we need for Italy to be annexed. 900 points. So the good news is by starting a land lease and giving them convoys, I think we can already get the 900 points. Yeah, look at that. That's perfect. So let's send convoys to Italy. Now you will also find out why we have been saving on political power, because as soon as Italy gets our convoys, we can annex them. There we go. It costs 300 points. We have them immediately, and so we can form the European Union. We can realize European unity. Let's do it. And there we go. The European Union in February 1941. Let's check our final stats in terms of manpower, resources, and everything. I think actually manpower will grow even further later. But yeah, in any case, it's March 1941. We dominated World War II. We formed the European Union. We already have almost 1 million manpower. I think we are on limited conscription and with quite a lot of divisions. And we have 417 factories. Of course, this is nothing like what the Soviet Union or fascist UK can get. But for France, considering where we started, this is quite amazing. Guys, that's all for this guide. I will not continue this run. The only thing left to do at this point would be to go after the Soviet Union. That's the only easy claim that we get access to while staying democratic. But this is not the end for France. Maybe not next week, but I plan to start working on other versions of France, non-aligned France probably. So we'll keep working on France. There will be more content coming soon. If you enjoyed this guide, guys, you must know that this was particularly well optimized, which means also countless hours went into this guide, a bit too many, but that's okay. I love doing these and I love the reactions I get for you. Let me know in the comments what you thought about these, and please do not forget to support the channel by subscribing, liking the video and leaving a comment. Guys, if you stayed with me until the end, thank you for watching. Let me know if you have any suggestions or requests for future videos. And well, I will see you guys in the next video. Bye bye.